Dr. Evan Mountford, hello Loomis Lifecare family. Glad to talk to you guys again. I wanted to share something that I thought would be beneficial to all of you. Anyone that knows me knows that integrity is very important to me, and who I recommend, a lot of that has to do with not only are they good at what they do, but can I trust them? And that's sometimes difficult to find. I wanted to introduce you to Brandon Brizzi, who's a patient, a friend, and who's also someone that I trust to help me with my insurance. He was sharing some information with me about some of the things going on right now with the insurance industry, specifically with what a lot of my patients are really dealing with right now, specifically with fire coverage for their home, and then also insurance policies for their car going very high. And I was just asking him if you could please kind of talk first about auto or the home insurance and what's going on with that.
Sure. So home insurance right now, what we're seeing is a lot of folks being either non-renewed, canceled, or their premiums are skyrocketing, right? So we do have some unique carriers that want to write in these areas like Loomis, like Auburn, like El Dorado Hills. There are a few mousetraps and things like that they may not want to insure, but we have a great deal of experience writing in these areas. So if you're in one of those areas or any other high fire area, feel free to reach out and have us take a look.
So when you say mousetrap, what exactly are you referring to?
Yeah, good question. So mousetrap is basically something that a carrier does not want to see and or kind of a hard stop for them for insurance. So for example, one of our carriers, if you have a propane tank on your property, they may not want to write it. Or if you are across the street from vegetation and brush, they may not want to write it. There are those types of specific things, and that's why you've got to reach out to us, because we know which carriers want to do what, and we can help put you with that carrier.
Well, you were saying too that not every insurance agency has access to these types of insurance companies. Like insurance companies are kind of choosy about carriers are kind of choosy about which insurance company that they go with. How did Kamar Insurance get I think kind of exclusive rights to be able to write for these different insurance policies?
Yeah, another great question. So there are some carriers that we have that not a lot of other independent agents have. The reason for that is because they know that we're writing good business and we want to take care of the client. We will not underinsure you just to save you a few dollars, because there's a diminishing return and it happens very fast when it comes to home insurance. You could spend an extra $50 per year and gain hundreds of thousands of dollars in coverage. So we won't skimp on those coverages just so you can save a couple of dollars. And insurance companies know that, and they trust us with their business.
Now, you were saying also that there are certain ways that a person can prepare for an inspection, because these insurance companies, the reason why that they're still writing policies is because they look at each house individually rather than just blanket stating that the whole area code they're not going to write it, correct? And you're saying there's certain things they can do to prepare for those inspections. Yeah,
so of course you would think they're common sense, but we see a lot of people don't really think about these things because they don't have insurance on their brain all the time, right? So for example, making sure that your trees are trimmed up 6 feet from the ground. So no branches coming out, no leaves, things like that. Making sure all of your vegetation from your bushes are all trimmed up nice and neat. Make sure if there's any dead vegetation in there to get it out. And of course, trim your grass and make sure everybody else around you trims their grass, because they look at those things. Even if your neighbor, say across the street, has an acre and none of it's mowed, that's going to hurt you. So you've got to get together with your neighbors, and that's where things like Firewise community come in, because everybody that's in there kind of goes by the same type of, what's the word I'm looking for, regulations, or you have to do this a certain way.
Like HOA rules, basically.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Now, you've used examples, too, when we were chatting before, of people that were just getting quoted massively high rates and how you guys were able to come down much lower than that.
Yeah.
And there was also something I think you called, I can't remember what the last resort was. It's just like a state sponsor.
That's California Fair Plan, yeah. So what's happening for a lot of folks is they're being non-renewed, and the reason why that is, in most cases, is because a lot of the insurance companies or carriers, they want to pull out of California because it's not as profitable for them right now. So they wind up just getting quoted for the California Fair Plan. We also do write the California Fair Plan, but it is the carrier of last resort. So we will try shopping all of our carriers before going to the California Fair Plan. Unfortunately, right now, there is certain areas that will only be California Fair Plan. So we try to avoid it at all costs.
And also auto insurance. Can you talk a little bit about that? What's going on with
Yes.
that?
So auto insurance, surprisingly, as bad as you think home insurance is right now, auto insurance is even more challenging. So the same type of situation is carriers are losing lots of money just because there's so many claims out there. Everything costs more in California, from labor, getting parts, all of that kind of stuff. So they're just trying to mitigate their risk by pulling out of California. So if you're with the carrier and you're being renewed, it's best to probably stay there for now until the market improves.
And you were saying that they're mainly pulling out because they've been prevented from raising their rates, which basically prevents them from being able to make a profit. And they have to be able to stay profitable or they just can't do business. So they're just leaving the state.
100%. So that is part of it. That's not all the reasons, but that's a majority of it, is that DOI has been restricting rate increases. So as a result, insurance companies just say, hey, well, if we can't get the rate increase, we can't make a profit, we don't want to insure in that area.
Especially when it comes to all these fires that have been going on as well.
Yeah, because if you think about it, if an insurance carrier has a bunch of homes in one area, the whole area burns down, they may have lost their entire premium, worth of profits. And they are a for-profit business, as much as we'd like them not to be, right? But at the end of the day, they have to make money.
Well, at the end of the day, for me, I just want to make sure that all my patients are helped as much as possible. I definitely want to help them to feel better, to function better, but I also want them to be taken care of in other ways too. And financially, that's a big deal. If people can't put food on the table or can't take care of themselves because their expenses are so high, then that affects everything. So
100%.
I'm glad to have Brandon here. I do business with people that I like, people that I trust have my own best interests at heart, and people that are credible, and I definitely see that all in Brandon. So thanks for chatting with me.
Thanks, Doc. Appreciate it.
Where do you find you?